Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. I got a email from Josh. Howdy, Josh. Glad you emailed me. Glad you subscribed to the channel. Hope you're enjoying it. I was reading through your stuff here, and I appreciate your thoughts about us old timers. Oh, that was cool. He's looking into getting into trucking and wanted my thoughts on flatbedding. And he also asked about my thoughts on this truckingtruth.com. I'd never heard of it before, but you sent me the link. Thank you. I went in and I didn't go into it real heavy. I ain't gonna lie, but I went through and read a few of the things where if they was gonna lie, they would have. And they seem to be telling the truth. They was telling you how invasive it is to get on. They actually said that it was probably easier to be a babysitter for the president's kids than to get into trucking. That's very true. You do go through some intense background checks. And if there's anything back there, you need to tell them about it. It's a lot better off to tell them about it and give an explanation. Then you might stand a chance. And I'm not saying you got anything bad. This is for anybody watching. However, if you lie about it or you don't divulge it, that's worse than what you did. So, and depending upon what company you go with is how deep of a background check you do. If they're hauling FedEx stuff or government stuff or hazmat or any of that stuff, they're going to check you out hard. I mean, real hard. And even if you have not been driving for the last 5 or 10 years, you still have to give your employment. And you need to be as honest and fill it out as correctly as possible, including phone numbers, because they will be wanting phone numbers. And get the dates of hiring, quitting, fired, whatever, as close as possible. You need them to be the month and the date, or month and the year, because they will still check you out. So they seem to be pretty honest. I didn't go into their online training and all that stuff. And as for your long email, it don't bother me at all. Now, you was talking about flatbedding and my thoughts on flatbedding. I have flatbedded. I didn't like it. It wasn't my cup of tea. I did it probably 3 or 4 different times for a total of a couple years. The last 2 times was to help a friend out that was trying to get a flatbed company started. And I ran his long enough to help him get his feet off the ground and him find somebody to replace me. I don't like it. You was concerned about your size and if that would hurt you flatbedding. No, it really won't. 2 things is, one, you usually have machinery to do all the heavy lifting. You don't really have to do any heavy lifting. Heaviest thing you have to lift is a tarp. For the most part. You know, the chains ain't light, but you have to learn how to work smarter and not harder. Throwing straps and stuff or any kind of chains and stuff. One old boy had made a comment about flatbed, and another guy got on there and told him, make you a monkey fist, which not exactly sure what he's calling a monkey fist, but it's probably a balled up rope with a couple big knots in the end of it, or a stick or something in it. I would be careful about putting heavy washers or rocks, you know. And he says, throw that over to pull your chains or whatever over. So you have to learn a few tricks like that. Actually, your smaller size might help you. I've seen a lot of big boys out there, and I wasn't as big as I am now when I was doing it, But sometimes you got to squirrel all over that nonsense, and that might help you out. So that might be in your favor. Main thing is learn to work smarter, not harder. And don't be afraid to ask questions. When I was doing it, one of my hardest things was the tarpon. The tarpon can be a pain in the butt until you learn how to do it right. It keeps coming loose on you, ballooning out, and all this crazy stuff. When I would be someplace, I was not bashful. I would ask drivers that if I seen they was doing theirs and it looked good, they was acting like they knew what they was doing, I'd ask them. Ask questions. A lot of times you can ask the place. I was known to do that, even hauling the boats and flatbedding and whatnot. When I hot shotted, I was flatbedding. And I would ask many of them. Now, they do not want to take responsibility for telling you how to fasten it. Oh, that ain't our job. That's up to you how you fasten it. Well, dude, you've been doing it longer than I. What would you suggest? And you can usually get a little bit of the information out of them. But, and they're probably going to make a disclaimer in there too. Well, they normally do it like this, but I can't tell you that. It's on you. So, flatbedding is just another division of trucking, and it's a matter of what you want to do. As far as TMC, I don't know that much about them other than they're big black slow Peterbilts. They're like any other company. I've seen good and bad drivers out of them. So, well, I got a kink in my neck. So, you know, best thing I can tell you to do is in this world of internet, I would do a little bit more searching on it. And a lot of times if a company's bad, you're going to find where the drivers are speaking up. That being said, remember, it is the internet. And like Abraham Lincoln said, just because you read it on the internet don't mean that it's the truth. So, if there's only a couple bad comments, man, I'd take a grain of salt with that. That might be a couple of disgruntled drivers. If there's a whole heap of bad comments about them, now you might have something to be concerned with. So it's just a matter of your own checking them out. And like I tell everybody, when you sign on, you come out here and start driving, whoever you sign on with, you need to stick it out with them for 2 years. Really, 2 years. If you try signing on with TMC and you drive for them for 10 months and you don't like them, and this driver recruiter over here talks you into going to Covenant or whoever, you're becoming a trucking whore. You're just bouncing all over the place. None of the companies like I drive for that are going to treat you right, none of them are going to touch you without 2 to 3 years experience. 2 is about the minimum. Anybody that's going to hire you without 2 years experience, they're going to be just like that company you just left. I've said it numerous times. I don't know how many of my videos you've watched. You take all their names of them big corporate companies, you put them in a hat, shake them up, pull them out, and they're all the same. One might pay you 2 cents more, but not get you home. This one might get you home a little bit more, but pay you less. This one might get you more miles. This one might send you. There's not a perfect company out there. And if it was fun, we wouldn't call it work. We'd call it playing. So if you think, you're a young man, if you think you want to try flatbedding, by all means. One positive thing about you going flatbed is if you do it for a couple years and you keep your record straight, keep your work history good, don't be having accidents and a bunch of tickets and all that nonsense, you can work into oversize. Oversize is where you're going to start making some money. If you go with the dry box or the reefer unit or any of that for 2 years, and you decide you want to try to make more money, where are you going to go? Just to another company that does the same thing, and you're only going to make pennies more, if that. However, if you go to flatbed and you decide you want to make more money, you can go to oversize. There's several different options you can go. As a young man, and with your interest in flatbedding, I would suggest that you check that part out real close. Now, you're not going to get on with TMC and work for a year at 32 cents a mile, whatever they're paying, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, after a year, you're going to get on with, there's a group down there are they out of Jackson, Georgia? I forget. But, and while you're getting your 2 years experience, whenever you see those oversized loads at the truck stops or wherever you stop, talk to them. Start getting information now, including the name of the company, the phone number of the company. Have a notebook just for that stuff. They're probably not going to be able to tell you what they pay, because oversized loads pay drastically different. I got to put the window down. Hold on. It's getting a little warm on me in here. Oh, there's some breeze coming in now. But you are doing right that you are seeking advice and counsel now. If you will continue with what you're doing your homework and whatnot, you're on the road to the right road. You're doing good, youngin'. Damn it. Quit getting me tongue-tied. That's about all I can tell you, buddy. You're thinking it through. That's good. You're not just making a rash decision. And flatbedding, if that's your interest, flatbedding to oversize, that's a good way to go. So with that, I've got a couple other people that ask questions, so I'm going to name this one for you, Answering Josh. Alright, brother, remember, God loves you, and so do I. Don't fall into the pitfalls out here. Don't fall in with the wrong crowds. Hopefully you're a Christian man. Keep the Lord in your thoughts and in your prayers. Keep Him in your life. And you can go a long ways like that. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Good luck in your career. Please keep me updated. Good night, youngin'.